Hi, my name is Brooke King, and today I'm going to be sharing Nearpod with you. The objectives for this training are to introduce how to use Nearpod in the classroom, how to find pre-made lessons on Nearpod's website, and how to create your own Nearpod lesson. Nearpod is an interactive tool that helps engage learners. It can be used with all grade levels and across all subject areas. All you need to get started is a free Nearpod teacher account, a projector, smartboard, or TV to show the slides on, and devices for each student, like a laptop, desktop, tablet, or other mobile device. Nearpod makes engaging lessons by including several different tools. My personal favorites are the Collaborate and VR field trips. Even more features of Nearpod include the live lessons or the student-paced lessons. With a live lesson, students' devices are synced to the teachers and follow along as the teacher advances through the slides. Student-paced lessons can be used for homework. Several of Nearpod's features allow teachers to track students' understanding in real time and reteach any areas of misinformation right then and there, rather than waiting until the next class period after quizzes are graded. Colleges and universities can easily update their current PowerPoint presentations by uploading them to Nearpod and adding in the interactive features. Most college students bring a laptop, tablet, or smartphone to class anyways, so this can be an easy way to make them more engaged in their learning. Professors get instant feedback by using polls, open-ended questions, and quizzes to check what their students know and what they should spend more time on during lecture. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. You can upload existing PowerPoints or Google Slides to add interactive features to. What makes Nearpod an emerging technology? Nearpod is a resource that changes the way teachers present content to their students. Instead of the content only being on one projector or one smartboard or one TV, it's displayed on every device simultaneously. And it also gives you the ability to add VR, AR, simulations, and much more into lessons. It will continue to grow and improve over time, and more content is added each day. Now let's watch how Nearpod is used in a 4th grade classroom.
Around 100,000 people gathered around at a dog in Belfast, Ireland, to watch the launch of the world's greatest and most luxurious cruise line.
Now let's take a tour of Nearpod.com. This is Nearpod's website. You can click here to create a free account. One of Nearpod's key ideas is to spend less time planning and more time teaching. It's easy to create interactive lessons, and you can save prep time by uploading things that you've already done, like PDFs, PowerPoints, Google Slides, and adding cool content in the mix. You can easily download and customize ready-made lessons. These are some of the educational partners that work with Nearpod, and they have free lessons as well as paid lessons. You can control lessons across all student devices if you're doing a live session. You can evaluate student responses with live or post-session reports. And you can give every student a voice by making sure that you have 100% participation in all of the activities in your lesson. Now we're going to go to the Explore tab. Here is where you can download free or paid lessons that are created by Nearpod or other members of the community. So this is some exclusive content from vocabulary. I know I've used that before. Let's take a look at what some of these lessons look like. So as you can see, some of them are free. They give you a suggested grade level. You can click here to preview the lesson. So you can see the samples of this free lesson. And if you decide that you really like it, you can add it to your library. You can also look at related content. If you're teaching a certain topic, you can search it in the search bar. You can see that we have a few different lessons available, and some of them are paid. If you want to adjust your filters for specific grade levels or price ranges, you can easily do that. A lot of them will have teacher's guides at the front that allows you to prepare before you begin the lesson if you need any other materials. You can also scroll through and find VR content. These are the free VR lessons that I was looking at. Then they're sorted by subject area, like reading comprehension in the ELA tab. You can also check out the ELA VR, which is pretty neat. You've got science, math, social studies, life skills and electives, and then you can also sort them by publisher. Some of these I've used in the past and others I'm not familiar with. I used to use Newsela when I was a 5th grade teacher. There's a whole host of information, and you can also see they have different languages available as well. These are some by Nearpod. And some of them are geared for lower grades, but you'll find that most of them are probably 3rd grade and above. So here is a really cool example of a 3D model of the digestive system. You can move around and see how everything works and where it starts. It's really, really neat. I think the kids will think this is pretty cool. You can also click on the Learn tab to get more resources for yourself. They've got webinars, on-demand instructional videos. They have a calendar for upcoming live webinars. Lots of workshops and how-tos, how you can share it with your colleagues. You can also check out some of the things on the side, like their blog, pricing for districts or schools. You can join a lesson yourself. You can become a Nearpod certified educator. The Nearpod Pioneers. You can become a Nearpod Pioneer, which is a member of a worldwide community of educators who speak at conferences and teach and promote Nearpod. You can join a Facebook group of these awesome educators and get lesson ideas from them. So I have a cart with my lessons in it that I have decided to purchase. This unit costs $24.99, and you can apply promo codes. Nearpod's Twitter will occasionally send out promo codes for certain holiday seasons, like for Teacher Appreciation, they released one, so I'll let you know that at the end of the video. Now let's explore a sample lesson. So now we're going to take a look at a sample lesson. This is a modified version of one that I've done with my students. On the left side, you'll see the teacher dashboard view, and on the right side is a sample student view. They'll need to go to nearpod.com/student to join a session. I usually have this side pulled up on my TV or projector, and this one on my private computer, so it's only visible to me. So I'm going to hover over the lesson that we're going to do, and you see we have a few options. One is edit, where you can add or delete content, preview, you can share, duplicate it, get reports, or delete, and then you have the choice of a live lesson or a student-paced lesson. So we're going to do the live lesson, which is where you are in control of all the student devices, but the student-paced lesson is awesome for homework or one-on-one sessions. So once we launch the live lesson, we'll see a code that the students need to type in on their screen. You, as the teacher, can share it through Google Classroom or links. They need to make sure they type their name and press Join Session. They'll see the first slide of our Nearpod lesson, which is the same thing that you have on your screen. You can see at the bottom how many students are signed in and who is on task by the green dot. You can also preview all the slides in the lesson and choose to hide or show student names. When you advance the slide, it automatically advances on the student screen. They have the option of toggling between one of these two slides to read more about Newsella and Nearpod. So our central question for this activity is, what were the different factors that caused the Titanic to sink? Our learning objectives are going to focus on ELA and social studies. This is a breakdown of today's lesson, and it's 45 minutes long, which is perfect for me because my specials classes are 45 minutes. We're going to experience how impressive the Titanic was. So first we're going to activate our prior knowledge. This is the Collaborate board, which is one of my favorite tools in Nearpod. You can choose to approve student responses first before they're posted, or not approve them. I always choose yes because we always have that one student who likes to get a little off task and post random pictures. So now that I have activated the Collaborate board, students can answer the question, what do you already know about the Titanic? List as many things as you can. So they'll type the response at the bottom. They can add a picture using Google Safe Search. And post their response. I will see on the teacher dashboard how many comments I have waiting to be approved. I can approve it or not, and when I do approve it, it will post to all the students' screens. They can press the like button, which they really enjoy, and I can also delete any posts. Now we're going to explore some of the reasons for the sinking of the Titanic. So this is a slideshow, and students can go through it on their own to read the vocabulary that's associated with this lesson. They're going to need to remember this for later on because we're going to do an activity with these vocabulary words. Now, this is one of my students' favorite parts. This is a VR tour of one of the staterooms of the Titanic. This was a model that's in a traveling show that displays a whole bunch of cool artifacts from the ship all around the world, so they can see what the different staterooms look like and what class of passengers probably stayed here. Now here's where they needed to know those vocabulary terms. they're going to be matching them with the correct definitions. So we check a word and we see if we can find the correct definition, and it will let us know if we get it right or wrong. And as you can see on the left side, it's showing me how many pairs that student has matched, how many attempts it took them. And when it's all complete, it tells us how many tries we took to get the correct answers, and it also populates on my screen. Now we're going to read a Newsela article. This lesson was done with Newsela, and I have too many students to create accounts for them all, so I did mine a little bit differently. I went to Newsela and copied the different Lexile levels of text into different Google Docs, and then I put links to all of those Lexile passages on one Google Doc so the students can choose which one is best suited to them. When they do, it opens up in a new tab and they can read through the article. When they're finished, I ask them to click back on the Nearpod tab so we can all move on to the next page. Now they're going to do a think, pair, share activity with a partner. They could choose a mild, medium, or spicy question. If they need to, they can go back to the text at the top in a different tab to get help answering these questions. Now we're going to explain why the Titanic sunk and what we can discover from the wreck. So now they're going to do an open-ended question, which is where they can explain in their own words why the Titanic sunk. Once again, if they need to go back and reference that Newsela passage, they can just switch tabs to get evidence to support their answers. So once they submit their answer, they can go back and edit it if they think of something else to add. I can see the response and the participation level in our class, and if the response is a great one to share, I could share it to all the student computers. It's anonymously shared, so there's no pressure or anything. Now we're going to watch a video that explores the Titanic's wreck. So this contains a video from YouTube, and at my school, YouTube is blocked on student computers, so I'm going to choose this device only, but if we were watching it from another video source, we could watch it on all devices. So now I would play this video for us to see, and this is what the student view looks like at this time. So now we're going to extend our knowledge of who survived and why. This is a poll that the students take. They would answer the question, do you think you would have survived the sinking of the Titanic? They could say yes, no, or I'm not sure, and submit their answers. Once they submit, they could once again edit their answers, and I can see what the students are choosing on my teacher dashboard. I could share what the results of the poll are, and all the kids can see what everybody else in their class said. So this feature is called Draw It. It allows students to draw their response to a question. This one, I want them to draw and label who they think would have been on the lifeboat. So here is an example of one of the lifeboats. They can use the tools at the bottom of the screen to draw an image. So I'm going to draw a woman, because I know lots of women were allowed on lifeboats, and children. So here's a baby, and I could label it. And I can move this around the screen, and I could submit my answer, and on the teacher view I could see the students' responses, and once again, if I think it's a really cool response, I could share it out to the class. So now we're going to evaluate our understanding by taking a quiz. So this quiz has 4 questions. They could choose their answers for each question, and as I'm answering them, the results are populating on the teacher dashboard. They could go back and edit their answers. I could see exactly which questions they got correct or incorrect, and how much of the quiz they got correct. I could share their responses, So this is what they would see on their computers. They scored 2 out of 4, so they got a 50%. And if I notice a lot of my students missed question number 4, I could go back and reteach that content. So now I'm going to end the presentation, and it will take us back to our library so we can see all of the teacher lessons that I have saved in my library. We can go to the Reports tab, and this lets us see the session that we did. We can see how much student participation we had, the correct answer ratios. We could go to the specific activities and see responses. We could download this information or share it. Ready to create a lesson? Now in our lesson library, we're going to click on Create Your Own Lesson. You can add a new slide or upload some existing files. You can upload them from your computer, Google Drive, Dropbox, or others. I'm going to upload a PowerPoint or Google Slides. It's processing, so we have to wait just a moment for it to populate on our screen. We can give our lesson a name. A description, and let us know what grade levels or subject areas it's most appropriate for. So we have our current slides, and we can click Add New Slide, and you can add content. So we can choose a Nearpod 3D, which has different body systems, models of animals. Ooh, Stonehenge. You could preview it or press Done, and then it will add to your slides. Let's see what other content we could add. Here are some simulations. This would be great for math lessons or science lessons. Plinko Probability Lab. Here are those VR field trips. You can search for specific destinations, or you can look at the ones that are most popular. Let's go to Greece. You can preview it or press Done. And they are all being added to the end of my slides. You can add a video from the BBC. You can use Microsoft Sway, slideshows, upload your own video or audio, PDFs, and even a live Twitter stream. You can add content from the web by copying and pasting the URL. This is how I added the Google Docs with the Newsella content. These are the activities you can add, like the open-ended question, matching pairs, the quiz, draw it, collaborate, polls, fill in the blanks, and memory tests. So let's explore each of those. So here is the open-ended question. You can add a timer or add a reference piece and save your response. Now let's try matching pairs. You can give optional instructions. You can enter text or add an image. Once again, you could add a timer to this activity also. A quiz. Then you choose the correct response and save. Draw it. For Draw It, you could upload a background image. That's what I did for the lifeboat. It could be a little bit more imaginative depending on what you were doing. Like for this, you could draw the animals that fit into this ecosystem. Collaborate, which is one of my favorites. Enter the topic. You could choose a style of background. Corkboards, whiteboards. You can add a poll, which is pretty easy to do. You can create a fill in the blank, where you can copy and paste some text or type your own. You can choose a text style. Then click on the words that you want to be taken out. Now the last one is a memory test. You can search for images. I feel like this level is a bit lower and might be more appropriate for younger children, because you're essentially creating a matchy game. You can add a final question. I'm just going to randomly put these in so we can move on to the next. Write a question and select the right answer. Not sure why that didn't work. So now we could move all these slides around to put them between things. We can delete slides. You can delete multiple slides by holding down the Command key on a Mac. You can convert certain slides to drawits. You can add regular slides. You can save and exit or preview, so let's preview. So here was that 3D model of Stonehenge. You can move around it, under it, above it. You can zoom in and out, spin it all around. Here was one of those interactive simulations. So this is like that game Plinko on The Price is Right, so you can see where the balls go. This will be helpful for a statistics class. You can turn the audio on and off. This was the VR that we chose of Santorini, Greece. Very beautiful. Here is one of the videos we selected from BBC. The open-ended question that we created. The matching pairs. Here's our quiz. This was the draw it, so you could have drawn the animals that would fit in this ecosystem. This is supposed to be a deer. Clearly, I'm an art teacher. This is the collaborate piece. Here's our poll. And finally, the fill in the blanks that we did. And that's the end of our previewed lesson. We can press save and exit. We can share it with others. If you work as a team and you can collaborate with your team members and one of you creates lessons and then shares it for the week and then someone else creates another lesson for the next week and so on. Use promo code 25THANKYOU for $25 to the Nearpod lesson library. Thank you so much for viewing my presentation on Nearpod. Be sure to check out nearpod.com.